Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining our webinar today, The Future of Insurance Marketing, Doing More with Less with Marketing Automation. Just a few housekeeping items before we get started. You'll get a copy of these slides and the webinar via email, and feel free to use the chat function, and we can capture your questions there and address them towards the end of the call. So today's agenda, we are going to go through some quick introductions. We've got the state of insurance. We're really going to break down the challenges that we're seeing in insurance marketing and sales teams. We're going to talk about the power of marketing automation to address some of those challenges. We're going to get into some new trends around AI and machine learning, key takeaways, and then we'll hopefully have some time to dive into your questions. So our lovely speakers today, we've got Mike Felix, Solution Consultant, Sales Engineer for our partner Act-On Software. Isaiah Hall, Digital Marketing Strategist, Assistant Vice President of Victor Canada, and myself, Jennifer Pugsley, VP of Customer Success and Insurance SME at Goose Digital. I'm going to pass this over to you, Isaiah, to talk about Victor.
Thanks for the intro, Jen. Happy to be here today. Victor Canada is part of the largest managing general underwriter in the world. We have three core businesses: property and liability insurance, group benefits, and retiree benefits. When speaking to the size of that, our property and liability insurance is about the same size as group benefits, and retiree benefits is a little bit smaller. For our internal marketing team for Victor Canada, we have a pretty small, nimble team. We have been utilizing marketing automation to help build out the resources of our team, and we partner with people like Goose and companies like Act-On in order to help build that marketing automation. Awesome. And I'll pass it on to Mike.
All right, sweet. Thank you for that, Isaiah. Thank you for having me on the webinar here. My name is Mike Felix, Solutions Consultant with Act-On Software. We are a marketing automation software company, and we've been able to create a SaaS product that primarily serve the small, mid-size, and enterprise businesses. So we of course believe that as your customers get smarter, so should your marketing automation tools. So we've been able to embed a number of capabilities inside of the software to be able to support the ever-changing and ever-evolving marketing objectives that organizations, especially within the insurance industry, are seeing. So definitely excited about not only having this discussion today, but also as a follow-up to this webinar, there are some options to be able to see elements of the software and to be able to sort of experience what it can do for your organizations.
Awesome. Thanks, Mike. So a little bit about Goose Digital. We are a full service digital agency with an insurance practice for over 6 years. We combine in-house insurance expertise and modern digital marketing acquisition services with advanced technologies like Act-On, certain CRMs, to accelerate new business retention and loyalty. We believe that the marketing automation platform is at the center of a modern marketing department, and it really enables everything to come together across sales, marketing, and reporting. This is our, we're very passionate about the industry. This is our involvement over the years. We learn a lot at these sessions. The industry is ever evolving. Sometimes it feels like it takes forever, but these events are really important to our continued development. We have about 250 customers, and with well over 30% in the insurance industry. We work with brokers, traditional brokers, purely digital brokers, carriers, and MGAs in Canada, US, and the UK. Okay, so let's really get into this. I think when you look at this slide, you see, audience awareness, all the way to end-to-end customer experiences. What's really involved, I think, in driving awareness and new business to supporting end-to-end customer experiences today is truly vast. It's been like this for a while. And what we're seeing is most marketers and teams can't keep up today with the ever-changing demand and almost chaos. So Isaiah, I want to turn it over to you because you're the one on the front line all the time, and get your opinion here.
Yeah, so for most insurance organizations right now, I think there's an overall capacity and budget constraint, and in addition to that, a pressure to make sales. You're constantly comparing yourself to other insurance organizations, competitors in the market, what content they're creating, the volume that they're getting, their use of technology, and how they're building out their marketing strategy. And so it's there's a lot of pressure to perform, and there's a lot of pressure to grow. And you need to look into every resource you have at your disposal in order to meet that growth.
Yeah. And would you say like it's you talk about like the pressure of sales and what competitors are doing, and I think we work with several same environments that seem to be, it's highly reactive, right? And instead of proactive, and that really prevents you from kind of getting to the work that makes the most impact, or getting to the innovative stuff.
Yeah, you want to move away from that reactionary type of work, right? I'm just doing this because it needs to be done, and it needs to be done yesterday. You need to be moving towards the strategy, the planning, the looking forward instead of looking, right now, what's going on right today. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's really what the core that these integrated platforms, which we'll get into, really enable you to do, is automate a lot of the business as usual and take that stuff off your plate so you can focus your efforts elsewhere. So, okay, I mean, Mike, any other thoughts you're seeing, insurance or otherwise, in relation to these challenges?
I mean, just from a high level, I think across the board, well, especially within the insurance industry, I think we're seeing that huge shift from caveat emptor to caveat venditor. It used to be sort of buyer beware, but now it is more seller beware. Like as businesses, we have to understand that the sellers, the way that they shop, it's different. The way that they consume, it's different. So by adopting technology that can enable you to be more agile in being able to communicate with them, it'll definitely help your end-to-end customer experience in a positive way.
Yeah, I think it was an interesting point. Like I also see this industry and then other industries, I think of like things like retail that have gone through significant changes. And they're continuing to go through significant changes, whether that's consolidation, whether that's, kind of this promise of insurtech that necessarily hasn't fit customers' expectations. So lots of changes there.
Absolutely.
We get into, I really wanted to kind of hone in on this because this is some of the changes that we're certainly seeing, even in a positive light in the last few years. So things like embracing technology. So what we're really talking about is sales and marketing technology here. And, providers have all, I would say have for a long time embraced technology, but what we're seeing is now it's more of a methodical way that they're approaching their investments, and less about reactionary, kind of silver bullet solutions. They're actively looking at their tech stack now and understanding that it's not one singular system that will produce all these outcomes that they want. And I think that that's really a positive outlook versus what it was, 3 years ago, 2-3 years ago. I think they are making data headway on their data complexities and using what they can in order to make impact. Isaiah, we see that even at your company, that it's kind of just not always waiting for things to be perfect and starting somewhere. And that impact is actually, it's actually huge, right? Mm-hmm. When you even take those baby steps. I want to call out acquisition. I think that one of the things, again, we're seeing is small to medium-sized businesses. We're really helping them figure out their messaging, their target audience, adequate budgets, and they really are seeing able to gain market share over their bigger and more established brands. Whereas that kind of was a huge pain point, still a pain point, but they are able to compete and on quality business lines. So I think honing in on reporting, this is another thing that we're seeing. I think, again, this is a very complex process, but I think the trend is more and more this reporting is no longer considered like a nice to have. It's a must have in order to get buy-in. And Mike, I think you could probably comment on this, but we're seeing this across the board, whether you're insurance industry or not.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it's like driving a car without a dashboard if you're not leveraging some insight to let you know where you're going, so reporting and data is definitely an integral part of anyone's marketing and sales strategy nowadays.
Yeah, for sure. I think what we're seeing is that there's still a lot to tackle when it comes to automation and connectivity. And even the out of box reporting, I think that's where we really get into these efficiencies. We talk to a lot of providers that are like, wow, like, sure, we can do ROI reporting, but that report is a 2-day work effort, right? Every time that we have to produce something like that, or so these systems really help you pull everything together into into singular views, dashboards that can be accessed, and not having to, and you can focus your efforts on insights and deriving insights and less about messing with the data. Isaiah, what are you kind of seeing in your own world when it comes to this?
Yeah, I think that in insurance, like I think the COVID marketplace is over. I think there's an increase in market competitiveness, and by that I mean, at least for us, I think we're starting to head into a little bit of a soft market, which means that you need to fight a little bit more for every lead that you get, and it also means that there might be a little bit more, marketing dollars available for you to have that fight. And I think it's a good time to really look into your efficiencies and what your business is doing and how you can best approach the next couple of years, right? And like you said with reporting, I think marketing automation isn't just about emails and so forth. It's also about reporting. If you can build out reporting for your marketing strategies that are automated, that you can just kind of look at instead of having to, like you said, take 2 days to build out a report every time it's done, that's a great add-on, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's necessary to keep trying to increase capacity and increase budgets for sure. Okay, so let's get into like the power of marketing automation and where we really see it helping, and some of the efficiencies that it provides. So when we look at marketing technology, leading platforms, it's really across 3 areas. If we look at sales over there on the left, the platforms really enhance your effectiveness of your paid strategy. This is really a given. So everything from high quality targeting, how you're capturing those leads, scoring them and notifying certain departments, sales, underwriting, what have you, it's going to help you triage risk classes. So it's going to really enable you to focus on the business that you need to write or you need to react to fast versus business that maybe you want to wait a little bit or you simply don't want to write at all. I think one of the most important aspects of marketing automation technology is the ability to nurture leads to close. This is 100% one of the most important areas. Most leads are not ready to buy. We're going to, some insurance products, we know there's urgency to them, but the majority of good leads are still taking their time with their decision-making process, whether that is staying, with their current provider, something went wrong there, they're shopping around, let's say they're heavily shopping around in its personal lines, or a competitor has approached them. So, if you're paying for, even if you're not paying for leads, but if you're paying for leads, you've paid for that lead once, you have to have strategies in place to nurture that lead to close. So maybe they don't close this first year, and you've got opportunity for year 2, year 3, and to get them into the door. Mike, I know you have some thoughts there about this is supportive marketing automation for lead generation and lead management.
Yeah, absolutely. No, you're absolutely right. And marketing automation tools helps with, well, it supports the acceleration of every element of this life cycle, but at the same time, it also prepares you to be ready when certain buyer phases actually come about, right? So many decisions are made during a transition within the insurance industry. And maybe the new acquisition of a property. It could be an automobile purchase. There may be a life event. And as long as you were consistent in being able to nurture that lead, and you're putting them through different pipelines so that you remain top of mind, that helps with your customer life cycle, because you were there at the right time. So no, you're absolutely right. And even post and pre and post sale, marketing automation or tools overall will help with the development of your of how you move your customers through these life cycles.
Yeah. Everything from quote follow-ups to education streams, particularly even on the commercial side and personal side, and being able to reinforce your brand. I think that does give you a competitive advantage, especially as a small provider, right? You're delighting with these touch points. So it really, being in insurance for 20, years, it really does give you an advantage to prices, like to educate on the product and the value over price. Price is always going to come into the conversation, but this gives you an advantage. Over on the right here, we get into everything from customer growth and retention. So we've got broker communications on here if you sell through a broker channel. And this is really around every type of use case that you can imagine that would follow your typical service timeline, right? So for welcomes, news and product notices, the platform really supports you to grow your contacts, your database. So if you're on the B2B side, maybe you only have 1 or 2 contacts within an organization when you should be talking to several, 5, or if it's your broker channel, we notice a lot of times that there's easily handfuls of people that are selling and servicing the product that are missing from the database. Then you can get into segmented renewals. You capture information at this stage if you want, if it's necessary for underwriting, but also just feedback. It's a good time to gather feedback and see how things are going. And then into obviously growth, cross-sell, upsell, referral. These platforms really support incentivized programs. And that, Acton's one of, very good platform for advanced segmentation, huge in this industry when we're talking about slicing and dicing data for personalization. It really helps. We see this a lot of groups with business, right? Endorsements, what have you. And then into the bottom there, we've got, I don't know if I broke up there, but into the bottom, we've got measurement. So what we're talking about is bringing in data from all sources for full-on closed loop reporting. We're going to get into the reporting aspect a little bit later. But yeah, Mike, Isaiah, what are you guys, any comments here on the customer growth and retention?
Yeah, I think that, everything that you said here is all really, really important to make part of your marketing automation journey. I think that, as someone who works for a smaller marketing team, who is, only a couple of years into our marketing automation journey, it can look like a lot, but yeah. But the thing is that you want to take a couple of steps, and then you analyze, and then you take a couple more steps, and then before you know it, you're well on this journey, and it's working better than anything you've done before. And that's the only thing I really wanted to add there. Yep.
Absolutely. Yeah, it does. It could seem daunting from when you're really close to it, but from a macro level, adopting marketing automation serves not just your business, but also your customers as well. Again, it supports every element of your growth, your client growth, and your revenue growth as well. So definitely agree. And from a high level, I know we're not getting into the weeds of the actual, like, the tools itself, but it's good to know that when you are adopting marketing automation, there are platforms that are good at a specific thing. So working for Acton, we specialize in marketing automation without compromising capabilities at all. And we take a lot of pride in that, because there are situations where there may be tools that's attempting to be great at, or to be relatively good at everything versus great at one thing. We're great at marketing automation. So when you do bring some of these different elements of a life cycle into your business, and you really identify what element of it you want to focus on, you have a lot of autonomy to do stuff like that inside of a platform like Acton. So
yeah, that's a good point, Mike. Like, and we see that a ton on the InsurTech side, right? Whereas Acton really supports growth marketing, right? But it's and won't go on a tangent here because I know of time, but it's like you said, it specializes in marketing automation. It's not trying to plug it, solve for a piece. It is the whole piece, right? And so we do see that on definitely InsurTech, where it's like, okay, there's some things that have been solved for, but when it comes to growth marketing, it doesn't have those components.
Right.
All right, let's get into some of the efficiency.
So yeah, one of the biggest things with marketing automation that I think you're going to hear a lot is just overall efficiency. And as an insurance organization, it's important to know that even the word efficiency it's a relative term. So knowing where you're going really matters. Marketing automation enables companies to streamline certain processes so that you can save time and resources. I like to bring up the acronym for system. And it is save yourself time, energy, and money. Organizations now trend wise are looking to save time, energy, and money, and optimize their human capital. So what are your sales personnel? What are they actually doing on a daily basis? And can a portion of that be automated in order for them to do a little bit more of the high value, high return activities? And marketing automation enables you to do that. You're also able to automate a lot of repetitive tasks, such as like lead nurturing, email campaigns, social media scheduling. Some of these activities don't necessarily have to be done on a real-time basis. A lot of it can be you can strategize, plan, and execute over a period of time. So again, so that your professionals can focus on some of the high return activities.
Yeah, Mike, and if I can just add, for increased efficiency, you really don't know exactly how efficient you are until you've gone down like a real marketing automation path, right? Like, as a marketing department, you can feel like you're doing everything at a high level. And if you're not taking advantage of some of the tools and technology that are out there, then how do you really know, right? And like, for instance, like, we recently built a very large segmented campaign for group benefits. And all I can say is that this would never happen in batch and blast days. It would never be something that you could, realistically plan out without the use of marketing automation and a tool like Acton and a partner like Goose. So it's just, you really have to leverage building those types of relationships in order to get the most out of your marketing budget.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, and it's great, Isaiah. It kind of brings into like where my point. I'll let you guys talk about personalized customer experiences, but to your point about the batch and blast, like it's over, it's gone, right? You can't afford, not only from a deliverability perspective, which there's a whole other webinar, but from a maintaining email engagement, you have to be personalized in your approach. So I'll turn it over to you guys to really talk about this area.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's I think this is a great segue. As we mentioned earlier, within the life cycle chart, everyone's going to be in different phases of their journey, and as long as your messaging and your engagement and their experience is aligned with the phase they're in, magical things can happen. So tools, marketing automation tools, especially Acton, provide the ability for you to be able to segment and target based off of those phases, and also enabling you to leverage data and various behaviors in order to support these experiences.
Yeah.
Yeah, and again, I'll add here, Mike. For the personalized experience, I think it's undersold sometimes, because what it enables you to do is get to such a different level with your target audience that you really couldn't have done before. And that's also, so first of all, it's through getting the data. That campaign I was talking about earlier, we had about, I think there was 50 different streams, and it was group benefits members with a variety of different types of plans, and it was all connected. We were able to get data from every different stream, how they interact, what they click on, what they don't click on, what they watch, all of these items. And that's going to, change the way that we plan our marketing for the next couple of years, just in that one campaign, right? And that's something that you can do on multiple campaigns and multiple types of automation.
Yeah, what I was saying is it's, in two core areas of personalization, right? Behavior-based personalization. So you're personalizing based on their actual behaviors with your brand. And then there's personalization based on data, right? So something really, really simple, which we still see all the time on the broker side of the house, is, if you've got a broker who doesn't sell commercial lines, why are we putting them through, or doesn't sell personal lines, rather vice versa? Why are we giving them the wrong communications, right? So something very, very, very simple like that. And that's kind of where you start to lose, well, it is where you lose the interest, and it, gets back to that blast and batch. So.
Absolutely. And just
as sorry, go ahead, Mike. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, just as a quick plug, I know a lot of what we're covering on the webinar right now, certain elements of it are very conceptual. From a sort of call to action, what we normally do especially with our partner Goose, we would set up a demonstration where we can walk you through what a journey could potentially look like based off of your marketing and sales pipeline. So I get a lot of requests for some organizations that may not have adopted marketing automation in the past, and they would like to visually see, like, what could this look like for me. So I know we'll be discussing it later on today, but I just want to make sure that as you're hearing these conceptual elements of the power of marketing automation, there is an opportunity for you to be able to see how it could be applied to your business.
Yeah, sure. Break down here outline this is really like the conversion life cycle when you're looking at applicable KPIs within the marketing funnel. So each stage of this marketing funnel is critical to the overall success of your digital marketing programs. I think what's really important to understand is that when you're measuring the effectiveness of your investments, you need to analyze the right performance indicators for each section and the role that they play. So a simple example would be trying to connect several brand awareness tactics directly to the bottom funnel without considering or implementing the other strategies and work effort that's necessary for the other stages. So you can break in, within CRM and marketing automation, in tying in your BMS data, you can break down by campaign, channels, departments, regions, people, to understand, where you should spend your marketing dollars and your effort. Mike, Isaiah, any on the reporting side?
I like to say whenever I engage with companies, whether it's within the insurance space, every company wants to generate sales right now. It's like,
Yeah.
I need to make money right now. Mike, what can I click? I need to click a button and sales will come now. I
Yeah.
think the magical part about being able to have a life cycle, a defined life cycle, and a system that's showcasing those ups and downs look like, it helps you with adjusting your expectations and doing the dance with it. There are seasons based off of where your customers are in that journey that will support revenue, and then there are other seasons that will support your ability to optimize. So you looking at your funnel from a top down perspective, and being able to just understand what your seasons should ultimately look like. It's not just about clicking a button and seeing sales coming in. It's knowing that there is going to be a period of your fiscal year where you're gonna have the ability to optimize, or there's gonna be a period where you should expect to see your bandwidth pushed a bit. So
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't put a dollar value on patience, right?
right.
Yeah, that's true.
Right. So yeah, so I'd like to speak on a couple things that a couple trends and new developments within the marketing automation space. Of course, we're seeing an increased use of artificial intelligence and machine learning to support how you're marketing and what you're actually doing. And we're seeing that being applied within capabilities such as predictive scoring, segmentation, conversion likelihood. Yes, you do have the ability to set up your various campaigns and to be able to have full autonomy on how your segments are configured, but there's a growing trend in leveraging artificial intelligence that's essentially amalgamating or bringing in a ton of data points to be able to enable you to make smarter decisions. Another huge trend that we're seeing is just overall from an organizational standpoint is that sales and marketing need to be aligned a lot more, so that your sales efforts are proactively and positively impacting your marketing activities and vice versa. So sales organizations now are communicating more to their marketing organizations to say, hey, these leads are not as qualified as they should be, and marketing is coming back to sales asking, well, can you give me some insight into what has been closing easier, or what has been closing faster. So that alignment is causing organizations to get strategic in what tools they're implementing. So and lastly, that leads into the fact that marketing departments require more validation than ever. So marketing platforms, they're looking to validate their spend, not just on personnel and on tools, but also on your advertising to acquire that attention in the first place. So marketing automation enables you to get the most out of those opportunities and leads that you're generating.
Yeah, for sure. There's definitely, I guess, no more excuses.
No more excuses. No more excuses.
Yeah.
And
it's an undertaking for sure.
Yeah, at this point, and I'll jump right to line item number 3. It's worth the investment to power your growth. I mean, huge kudos on just attending the webinar. Big thing though, as with the no excuses. If any organization that is not adopting marketing automation at the current moment is choosing to fall behind, and it's kind of like choosing to continue riding horses, knowing that automobiles are picking up pace, right? These tools are becoming more prevalent, and you have to adopt it. From a key takeaway, one huge thing: these not only are the tools essential, but the methodologies are essential as well to the future of insurance marketing and revenue growth. So you have to understand how to use it. So diving in is huge. And customer journeys are becoming more complex. And so these platforms provide marketing results intelligently by utilizing data to drive that engagement. Again, it's not just about what you promote anymore. It's about when you do it, how you do it, why you do it. So marketing automation platforms like Acton will help you do that. And lastly, outspending your competition no longer works. You must automate. So your competitive landscape is definitely changing as your prospects are buying differently, and marketing automation platforms like Acton, working closely with Goose Digital, can help you do so.
Yeah, I think it's interesting that, Isaiah, you made a comment, and I know that it's most of the companies that we talk to, like I said, they're making their headway, right? I think that if you have a marketing automation platform today and you're not seeing the value of the platform, a lot of time, and again, not every platform is created equal. So, call us and we can help you break that down and find out the source of those problems. But if they are a best of breed platform where you are on something like Acton, a lot of times it's that it's a configuration or it's a strategy that's not working, and it's less about the technology. I mean, I think we talk to companies every single day that say, even on the CRM side, oh, we want a new CRM because this one's just not good enough. Then when we get in there, it's really about the strategy that it's been plugged with, or that it's been plugged in, or a configuration. They just haven't gotten the configuration of the report and haven't worked through those complexities, right? A lot of times less about the technology if you're in the best of breed space. So don't want to blanket that, but I think what you're saying, Isaiah, is that this is really, when we were talking the other day, you're mentioning this is really like a few year, 3 to 5 year journey, not something that you're going to tackle, you're probably the first year, use it depending on how fast you want to move to a fraction, right? You don't want to comment there.
Yeah, I made the joke earlier about not putting dollar value on patience, but it's really true, right? You need to, when you start your journey in marketing automation, it's not a 6-month journey. It's you're in it for the long haul, and you have to expect just as much failures as you do success, right? So there's a lot of learning that goes into it, and it takes a long time. And I can't say enough, like part of making it successful is partnering yourself with the right people. The technology is also needs to be the right technology for your business. And all of those come into fact. There's still going to be times where it might be a little bit frustrating, but the end goal is fantastic, right? And that's what you always got to align yourself with.
Awesome. Well, thank you. So we do have some time here quick for some questions. If we want to tackle those, we've got one that's coming in here around, can Acton integrate with both our CRM and our BMS? I can probably tackle this one if you guys want. Acton has several native integrations with leading CRMs such as Salesforce, Microsoft Dynamics, several others. They do have an open source API. They have an easy data import through SFTP sync. There's Zapier integration and other options. I think when it comes to your BMS data, it's really going to depend what BMS data you're on and whether that is your data is easily accessible. That's the nutshell of the broker management systems, and that's not really a marketing automation platform constraint. It's really more on getting access to your data with inside the BMS. But if you have specific questions on that, and what we've want to explore what we've done in the past at Goose, then let me know, and we can help you out there. We've got a question coming in here around, we're driving a ton of leads, but we're really having trouble qualifying them and getting them to the right people quick enough. Mike, I don't know if you want to tackle this one.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, I hear this a lot. Driving, you're acquiring a ton of leads, non-qualified. So I mean, I would say the first big step is to understand what your framework around qualification is, and then embedding elements within your marketing automation platform to achieve it. So if it's about knowing something about your prospect and being able to deliver to them what that value prop would be by working with your company, that is what you would be adopting inside of your marketing automation platform. If there are certain questions that are not answered, you need to be able to present those questions to them in the form of either a survey, a sequence of a form, something for them to complete in order for you to be able to acquire enough information to be able to make certain value statements. When it comes to routing them to different departments, a lot of that, again, it's going to be it depends based off of how you configure your departments. Some insurance companies separate their departments based on function, some based off of region and location. So if the challenge typically isn't routing them, the challenge typically is being able to qualify enough so that when someone does get on the phone with them at the right time, they understand what type of conversation to have so that that lead quickly converts.
Yeah, and I think too, it's so as soon as you can figure out that piece, your stress level on driving leads comes way down, because there's always going to be garbage driving raw leads. That's never going to go away. It's not about the garbage that you're getting. It's about the good leads that you're getting. Right. That's really what it's about. And if you're at a, 4 to 8 times, ROI or return on ad spend, you're not going to care about the however many percentage are garbage leads, right? So to your point, being able to qualify them quickly, and then also being able to return the why data of why they're not qualified. So a lot of times we hear, well, we can't get this prospect on the phone. Well, you can't go back into Google or LinkedIn or Facebook or any other platform and put a criterion, I can't get this person on the phone. That's not a we need to understand, are they not in the right region? Are they have had too many claims? Or are they, what are those things that do not make them a desirable risk? That is what your marketing team needs in order to effectively optimize.
Right, absolutely. And some leads that are not qualified now may be qualified Q2 2024. Right. So even though you're not acknowledging that ROAS now, you can acknowledge that ROAS later because you have a marketing automation tool that's continuing to nurture and keeping that because it's a human. You're keeping that human in a pipeline logically so that eventually you can close. Yeah,
exactly. Okay, so this one I wanted Isaiah, to pretty much tackle this one. We're in the mode of sending several one-off communications. We'd like to get to automation. It's like our dream, but we can't seem to really get there.
Yeah, I can tackle this. So first of all, I'll say, we said batch and blast is dead, right? But I think, there's always going to be that, like when you're transitioning from that batch and blast stage to marketing automation, it's not going to be, a quick, that's it, we're jumping in. So to start, like, I think you got to look at your business goals and determine a campaign, a single automated campaign that works for what you're trying to do. Some examples are something that we did was an onboarding campaign. So onboarding new users, new members, new brokers, whatever you like. That's something that's small. It doesn't take too much budget. It doesn't take too much time, something that you can measure the results really easily. It'll get you into that mindset of thinking about how do we automate things moving forward. And an onboarding campaign is great because it never needs to really shut off. You can, once it's complete, it runs basically forever. You update it every now and then, but it's something that, has a lot of benefit to your business, brings people into the fold, gives them the information they need. And it also starts them down that journey of becoming, actually like buying into your product. Right. So yeah, I would start with that. That's a good one.
Yeah, I think it's so interesting that you say that, because I see this onboarding campaign across kind of like several different strategies and have throughout the years. And it's, I see it a lot around like new tools and new technology. And it's like, there's this notion of well, we're going to build this technology and, it's build it and they will come. And that's just not the case. Like, regardless if it's your existing broker base or your existing customer base, it's actually build it and then have, a smart journey in place that actually goes and helps those people adopt that technology, right? And how effective is that going to be versus a single email? Hey, we've launched this claims tool, or the self-serve portal, or whatever it is that is, or even new broker welcome series, right? Like, there's a lot of, I know the industry wants more new people in the industry, but if you're a new broker coming into the industry, carriers have a lot of influence over that education path, and that relationship, right? To influence their career journey. So,
and you'd be surprised how many people will quote on one piece of business or something like that and not actually go through and then never talk to your business again, right? When we set up our broker onboarding campaign, we actually went back and said, basically, anyone who in the last year had done that, we're going to put them in the onboarding campaign. We almost crashed our platform.
Yeah.
So it's, you never really know the results you're going to get until you kind of go through with it. And obviously that's anecdotal, but I highly recommend it.
Well, and I loved your onboarding campaign and others that I've seen, because it really enables you to bring the huge need for education in this industry, right? And these products, right? How many, even on the group benefit side, how many of us do not use our group benefits to the fullest of their ability, right? We just don't. And I think and you can argue on the same side on the P&C side. So there's been such a gap for so many years, in this industry around education. And this really does allow you to systematically, pepper that in throughout several different touch points of the journey. So I think we'll probably wrap up there given time. If you have additional questions, definitely feel free to send them over to us. If you have, any thoughts on wanting to demo the Act-On platform or talk to Goose Digital more about our services, please reach out. And thank you for joining our webinar today.